Welcome back to Cooking with Tris, real food for real people. Today it's all about comfort food, and we're kind of going back to my childhood and possibly your childhood with this dish, because we're going to be making some amazing sausage and beans, that absolute classic. Now this dish, however, is about as far away as you can possibly get from the one that you used to have from the tin. It's going to keep all that comfort, all that childhood delight, but what we're going to be doing, we're going to be supercharging it with some amazing flavours. We're going to be adding in a load of fresh vegetables, and we're going to be slow cooking it, and trust me, it's going to be absolutely amazing. It's really simple to make. It's all done in one massive pot here. This amount's probably going to feed about 6 people, if not more, and I think you're really going to love it. So what we're going to add in this? Well, I suppose it's all about the beans. So what I've got here is, I've got about 750 grams worth of haricot beans. These are in water, so without the tomato sauce, because we're going to add our own tomato flavour here. So they're the most important things. And then the sausages. I've been to the butcher's and I've got some 3 massive meat-filled pork sausages here. And we're really going to crank things up by adding in 200 grams of smoked bacon. That's really going to bring out a load of extra flavour and just add a new dimension to this classic dish. We're going to need a velvety tomato sauce. So I've got 5 tomatoes here, which, fresh tomatoes, we're going to chop up really finely, and they're going to be part of the sauce. Also, we've got some leek, 2 onions. So that's just going to add an extra amount of sort of texture and flavour to this dish. It's really going to bring it alive. I really like adding it in there. In terms of flavouring, we've got a tablespoon of brown sugar. We've got a tablespoon of barbecue spice powder. We've got 2 finely chopped garlic cloves, and then we've got some white wine vinegar. We've got, I'd say, 2 tablespoons of tomato puree mixed with, say, 50 or 60 millilitres of water. We've got a tablespoon of soy sauce, and then we've got some salt and pepper. And then, as I was saying, you're going to need the biggest pot you've got in the kitchen. Just going to cut up all the veg, put it in the pot with the meat, the beans, slow cook it for a good hour and a half, and that's it. Really simple, really delicious, and really, really comforting. It's going to take you right back to your childhood, but in a really good way. Okay, I'm going to chop up all this veg, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. Okay, so got those chopped up. I've literally just roughly chopped the onions and the leeks any old how. With the tomatoes, I have sort of finely chopped them up, so nice and diced. I mean, you could use tin tomatoes if you want to, but you can't beat fresh tomatoes, I think, that you've chopped up yourself. I think they just add an extra richness of flavour. I mean, you can basically add any vegetable you like in here. Sometimes peppers are really good, mushrooms even, whatever you fancy. If you want to make it extra healthy by adding something, by all means do. But these are done. I've got the pot on the stove now. Let's start cooking. Okay, so we are just about ready to go. I've got a massive pan on here on kind of medium heat. And what we're going to do is, to start off with, we are going to brown these amazing looking sausages. So just put them in this pan. Well, let them sizzle away. And all you're going to do here is just add some colour to either side. I don't want to cook them through, because we're going to cook them low and slow in with the rest of the ingredients. And by doing that, all their flavours are going to release into that sauce, and it's just going to add so much more flavour here. So literally just browning them. A couple of minutes on either side is absolutely fine. They are smelling so good. We're in for a real treat here. I'd say they're just about done. And there you go. I'm just about to see, yeah, just got some colour on there. So I'm just going to put these to the side, and then straight in there, we're just going to add our leeks and our onions. Give these a stir around. Don't need any more oil or anything, because a lot of the oils come out from the sausages. So just going to give these a stir around a little bit, and to them we're going to add our barbecue spice powder. Just drop straight in there. Our garlic. And our brown sugar, and then stir that around in there. So these things are going to add some real flavour there. And then once everything, oh god, throwing it out the pan here. Once everything is nice and covered by those things, you can see there, we're going to add a soy sauce, and then our vinegar. So just going to add this bit of liquid here, because next I want to put the lid, on top of the pan, like so, and just let that sort of steam away for about, I don't know, 5 odd minutes in here. We want them more kind of nice and steam. So we're just going to leave those, keep it on the heat, maybe turn it down just a little bit, slightly low. We're just going to leave that for about 5 minutes. So, okay, so the onions and the leeks, as you can see, have really absorbed all those flavours that we've added, and what they've also done is picked up from the bottom of the pan all the caramelisation from those sausages, and they're smelling absolutely fantastic, really, really good. Next, I'm going to add our 750 grams of beans. I've drained them out of the tin, drained them with the water, and they're just going to go straight in there. And we're just going to stir these around, and again they're just going to really pick up a load of these flavours, which is great. And what I love about these beans, the ones that aren't in the tomato sauce of course, is they're going to just start to break down a little bit. Some of them are, others are going to stay whole while we cook this low and slow, and they're just going to really make this sauce super velvety, super delicious, and just really, really good. Okay, so I've turned the beans round. They're really covered with everything, and I'm just going to add the tomatoes and do exactly the same thing. Ooh, one left there. Stir them around a bit, get them in the mix, and then we are going to make almost like a hole in the middle a bit, and we're going to put in our smoking bacon. Not going to do anything with this, it's just going to be completely cooked within the pan. So while we're cooking this, it's just going to sit there, all the flavours are going to come out there, it's going to soften up, it's maybe break apart a little bit, and it's just going to add a real punch of flavour. Then after that, we're going to put our sausages back in, just drop them on top like so. If there's any juice on the plate or whatever you've kept it on, pour that in there too. Next, we're going to add our tomato puree, just in there like that. That bit of stir around. There. And finally, we're going to add about, what's this? About 700 millilitres of water, basically, so everything is covered. That's just a little bit under 700 ml. So as you can see, if I can pick it up, everything is just about covered, the top. So that is perfect. Got a bit of this tomato puree left. So we'll just add in, and then I'm going to increase the temperature, bring this up to the boil. Then we're going to reduce the temperature right down, and then cook it for about an hour and a half. Okay, so this is nice and simmering away. What we do next is just reduce the temperature right down to a really low kind of simmer. Add the lid, and then just leave this for about an hour or an hour and a half. I'll check it after an hour, see how it's looking, and then we'll decide from there. If you want it to be traditional and make baked beans, you could put this in the oven and cook it again at low temperature for the same amount of time. It's just the same, but in a lot of ways for me, it's just as easy doing it on the hob. Makes no real difference. So we'll be back. Okay, so we're back. It's been about an hour, so let's take a look and see how it's doing. And it is doing really well. I'm really happy with that. It's smelling absolutely fantastic. All we've got to do now is leave it for about 10 minutes just to reduce the sauce down. There's quite a lot of liquid there, so I just want to reduce it down a bit. So we're just going to turn up the temperature, really bring it up to the boil and reduce that liquid. Okay, so it's about 10 minutes later, and as you can see, the liquid here has really reduced down. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to keep it at this high heat, and then we're just going to take out the meat, the bacon and the sausages. We're going to cut them up, and then we're going to put them back in. Have the cleaver at the ready. And, as I say, let's just grab these things out. So the bacon, it is super soft and tender, perfectly cooked, as are the sausages. So we're just going to find them here. We're going to keep this just boiling away. Where's that last one? It's in here somewhere. There he is. Pull them out. Right, so I'm just going to quickly chop these up. And there you have it. Just roughly chopped, any way that you want, big or small pieces, anything goes really. And we're just going to put these back in, like so. Voila. Get rid of that. And then just give this a good stir around. Like so. Just going to grab the spoon, check it for seasoning. You note that I didn't put any seasoning earlier on. That's because we're adding quite a few salty and spicy things in here. So if we put it in early, it could end up being too salty now. So I've left it right to the end. I think when it comes to salt, that is perfectly fine. But I'm just going to add a couple twists of pepper. And that is pretty much ready to go. The sauce is really thick and velvety. Tastes absolutely amazing. And I'm really, really happy with it. And I think you will be too. So I'm just going to give this another 5 minutes. Reduce the heat. Give it 5 more minutes just to let those, chunks of meat just do their thing and cook in there. and then this really ready to serve. And here we have it. How good does that look? I'm so happy with this. It is absolutely perfect on some toast, on a jacket potato, served with some chips, whatever you want. These are the perfect beans and sausages. I am really happy with this. I'm really excited. It smells absolutely delightful. It is, yeah, going to be absolutely amazing. Big steaming bowl of this, absolutely perfect. If I was being authentic, of course, I'd have this on some toast, maybe some brown sauce on top, but I'm not being, I can't be bothered. Making that toast is going to take too long. I just want to get stuck into this right now. And let's see. It is absolutely delightful. It's packed full of flavour. Really, really tasty. The sausage. Delightful. The beans are super soft. The sauce really velvety. It's so good. The bacon, oh, I'm so happy. You have to try this. Give it a go. See what you think. And you're going to love it. Comfort in a bowl. Okay. I'll see you soon with more Cooking with Tris. Real food for real people.